There'll be some clips. Yeah.
All right. We are on episode 100,000.
And
Feels like a million.
100,000.
180 something.
$1 million. No.
Yeah, I didn't even think he noticed me doing it. When he came on, I was like,
hey, it's really great to be with you guys. You haven't introduced me yet, but that's okay.
Inside jokes. Inside jokes. I got you, Bruce.
My third time. On the
30th time. Yeah. We're like on episode 180. We are joined today by Bruce Rosard from Arival. Man, I just for anybody that's being introed to this show, this community, this event. We got a great episode for you today. Bruce is one of my favorite characters in tourism. And if you're a longtime listener of the show, we're going to dive into some things that you can expect from this year's show. And well, Bruce, if you got a quick intro for us, if you would, for our new listeners, tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are and what the hell you do.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin and Greg. Great to be with the Awkward Watersports Guys again. One quick intro. People often don't know I was a tour operator for over 20 years, a ski tour operator. So a ski tour operator is not that different than being a water sports operator in many ways, especially the seasonality part. Now, when you're in Florida, you don't have the seasonality that we do in the ski season, but I have that tour operator experience. And then about 8 years ago, started Arival with my partner, Douglas Quinby. So that's what I've been doing for 8 years, with a couple of years in between where we couldn't do it because of this thing called COVID, which hit most states except Florida. Somehow you guys didn't have to deal with it. And here we are.
Yeah, because COVID didn't spread on the water. Like if you're a pirate, like you didn't get COVID.
Right.
So we were good. It's not true. I got it like 17 times. Yeah. So man, we can even drop like maybe a little history, for those of you guys who've listened to the show or whatever. Greg and I were pretty influenced and what's the word I'm looking for?
Motivated?
Not motivated, influenced, inspired. That's what, yes.
Yeah. And you saw the light at your first Arival event, which was it 2018 in Vegas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was Orlando.
It was Orlando. And
it was 19 for me.
Kevin wore pink jeans to the
pink
conference.
Hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to fit in with all the the real thinkers. And then since then, I come down in my bathrobe these days. I don't even give a shit. I'm like, I don't need a suit and tie. I don't need to put on airs. It's not like me. So Arival really inspired, the inception of this show, 100% the event. I mean, they helped us they get us going. I mean, if we're the Stones, then they are the Beatles. I mean, we sell a fraction of the records that the Beatles do in this very bad. Maybe with like the Yardbirds or some very unknown band. I don't know.
Are still around. So I just saw them last summer. Just a quick intro for those that don't know. So Arival runs conferences and does research. The research really drives the industry trends that we bring to the conferences that people tell us every year. That's the main thing they're really interested in. What are the trends? Like what's going on in the experiences industry? So all we talk about is destination experiences, tours, activities, attractions, an event in the US, an event in Europe. Sometimes we'll have a third event. And that's what we do. And our US event's coming up soon in DC or across the river from DC in National Harbor, Maryland.
Yeah. So sorry, Greg, I had to jump on your feet here. So
go ahead.
I mean, I just want to go straight for the jugular. Like, what's the big thing this year? Like, I went to your page last night and I saw like just a lot of differences than years past. I know you guys got some different tickets. You have sounds like an AI summit. I mean, clearly top of mind for you guys, but I guess I already know the answer. But like, what's the big thing for Arival this year? What's the most exciting thing you're
well, there's a couple things, and I think we're trying to do a lot right now. We have an executive summit. because we hear a lot of people that have been in this business for a long time. They're like, what do you have for me? What's different? I already know a lot of what you guys talk about. So the Executive Summit is a full day that is going to be really different. A lot of peer-to-peer between the C-suite of people in the industry. We have a guy named Joe Pine coming to join that. Joe Pine wrote the book literally on the experience economy. I know both you guys are now best-selling authors. Joe Pine's put his book out in the mid-90s, and that book is still selling. And this next one is The Transformation Economy, which we could go into. That could be a whole podcast on its own, what Joe's going to do. So the Executive Summit is one unique idea for anyone out there who really is a thought leader in the industry of water sports or otherwise. That day would be a pretty awesome special day. The next day,
I signed up for it. I'm in.
You did? Well, you're a thought leader.
I'm a thought leader.
We got to get Kevin in there. Kevin, no, not coming. All right. The next day, so AI has been obviously huge. I don't have to talk about that. And it has permeated Arival events since Gen AI came out. And we decided it needed its own day. So on Tuesday, September 30, it's a full day that we're calling the AI Forum for Destination Experiences. So lots of great speakers from around the world for that, just focusing on AI. Not really the beginner level, but a little bit. You got to be already using ChatGPT or Gemini or something to be able to take advantage of that event on Tuesday, which is also what we call Arival Day, when people show up. And then the overall event is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, when we'll keep talking about AI. You can't avoid it. But we're also going to talk about social commerce. You talk about our friend Justin Buzzy, and he's got 500 million views on social channels, and he's going to be on that panel. And we're going to challenge him. All right, how many of those views have converted to bookings? And he knows about, but he doesn't have a direct line. And that's the importance of a topic called social commerce that we're going to talk about quite a bit. The whole idea of how search is changing, again, with AI, is so important because everyone spends their time on SEO, but it's not the same anymore. And trying to be found on whether it's Google, Google's search results are going down every month, right? I know, Greg, you track that pretty closely, right?
Yeah.
Of how much search is actually Google. It's never gone down before, but it is now because of AI. So those kinds of topics are some of the biggies.
Yeah, I'll lead a session on on the side of the road begging for spare change or living in the woods, man. And I say that jokingly, but everybody I know in this space is just like, you know what I mean? Like, what do we do? It's like we're going from yellow pages and billboards to SEO and the internet. And it's like this weird atrium that people are in, where it's just like, we kind of know, but we also kind of don't know. So I guess Arival will be maybe shedding a little bit more light on that. It sounds like, and God, it sounds like I got to upgrade my ticket or, bring you on for a second podcast or something like that, man.
Yeah, we should talk about that, but it's moving so fast. So whatever we think we're talking about today at the AI Forum is going to change by September 30th. Right. And all of us, operators, you're busy operating your business, so it's hard to keep up. We try to stay in this stuff and can't keep up. It's just freaking.
I think it's really, that's why when you're like Kevin Thoughtley and I'm shaking my head no, is just because I feel like it's so. I think you have to be very careful about this subject because, to what you just said, the moment that you're like, this is what it is, it's like tomorrow's like, well, wait a minute. It's literally the next day it changes. So I think it's really challenging when it comes from an education perspective or a content creator to really sort of put your thumb on something that's moving at such an accelerated pace.
Yeah,
and so challenging. Go ahead, Greg. We got to let Greg talk. Go.
No, I just we're talking about all this, and it kind of comes back to the conversation we had before the show, and we're kind of getting into some of the topics. But some of you listening have tickets to the port. Some of you have listenings have ticket to the Arival. Some of you have both. And the question you might be thinking about is, how are they different? How are they the same? And couple of the things we just talked about right now, we all have maybe our different perspectives on how they're different, but there's two things that really separate the port and Arival, and research is number one. I go for the networking, but I also go almost equally as important for the research. And the research is the best research you'll find in the industry, bar none. And there's one session in the past 8 years that I've been to Arival. I've been to every single Arival, maybe besides the first one, but every single one, there's one session I never miss, and that's Douglas's theater session. Because the what he brings to the table, the research is just amazing. Like, what are the trends? What's going on from year to year? And based on, like, when you dig into the category of like water sports versus walking tours and attractions, and how are customers booking? What channels are they using? This research is just, it really leaves me thinking really deeply about my business and the industry. And the second thing that really separates is just the tech focus. I mean, we do have, conversations about tech, but really, like, some of the biggest and best tech companies in our space come to Arival. Either they're vendors or they come as attendees. And understanding like what the next best thing is when it comes to tech and tools I can use, you're going to find it at Arival. So
yeah, if I could jump on your toes here, like I know Bruce probably hates this a little bit because Arival is sometimes so anti like selling. You guys don't don't sell, you know what I mean? Just like we're educators, we're not like hardcore sales guys. And if this episode comes across, like, just understand that this is naturally Greg, right? Like, Greg gets excited about things. He was excited about Arival. He had to hard sell me on it, right? Because I'm like, dude, I just like, unless it's like the mountains or the woods, like if I'm not going on tour, like, man, I am so business conferenced out. And I think this speaks to like a lot of business operators, right? 2025 was fucking challenging, man, like super challenging. And I think a large portion of it is because search really changed. Like, we spent a lot of money on marketing. We didn't see those dollars come back the way we're used to. And I think there's a lot of fear in the marketplace right now, especially with our side. I think with like our event, we're very tactical on like, evaluating businesses, looking at numbers, new products to the marketplace. I mean, we're not really drilling that hard into AI because, frankly, as far as investment dollars go, I think it behooves you to go to both. And again, it's not a hard pitch. Like, I had to sell myself on it, right? Because I fancy myself as a smart marketer. And the fact is, I just don't know what to do this year. I threw everything in the kitchen sink. Like, to your point, Bruce, about Justin, like, we went hard on content. We did drive a hard story on content. We did double our marketing budget for June and July on marketing, and it fell flat. I don't know if that's the economy. I don't know if that's our efforts. I don't know if it's ChatGPT, but I know one thing, like, I've got to get back under the hood on our tech, on our marketing, and the stuff that I'm not bringing to the table, whether it be at Destiny Water Adventures, Take My Boat Test, fucking one of the other 20 businesses, even the port. Like, I'm like, man, I'm going to have to kind of like maybe come to you guys and learn a little bit about the tech side, because I'm, Greg's handling the tech side at the port, but I can't walk in there and say that I'm an expert. And so I have to learn a little bit more myself. And I would venture to say that I am the face of, 100% of the operators that are in our space.
Yeah, and being an AI, anyone says they're an AI expert, run.
Fucking truth.
Right?
Yeah.
And also, a lot of the research is showing that companies that are investing in AI, they're not getting that return yet. Yeah, but if they don't, and they don't start working on it and understanding it, when that pivot point comes, and okay, now we can start really taking advantage of that investment in AI, you're going to be left behind. So yeah, you might not start seeing all those results right now, but if you don't start, I mean, it's coming, right? It's like 1995 and there's this thing called the World Wide Web. And if you don't hop on, you're going to be left behind.
Well, sure. Don't forget though, that 2001, that fucking thing burst, man.
Yeah, sure. But that was the investment side, but you had a website. Your website 100%. Probably still brought in business, et cetera. But the other thing really about the differences of the port and Arival. The port is the best place. You built an amazing community of water sports operators, and it's the best place for your community to get together and be that community that works together, has the same challenges, has the same issues, whether it's insurance, regulations, et cetera, et cetera. Whereas Arival, you're going to be able to have peer-to-peer learning with all kinds of businesses in tours, activities, attractions, experiences. And you're going to meet people. You're like, what do I have in common with a food tour operator from New York City? Like nothing. Well, maybe that person does have something that they're doing that can help your business.
100%.
I mean, I know both of you have stories of meeting people and it didn't seem like it was going to go anywhere, and boom, it exploded for you.
Yeah. I mean, I made a post today on LinkedIn about how I had a 33,000 ROI on one of my first Arivals I went to. I think maybe the first or second one. Basically, the story is that I was talking to someone that offered more like general travel insurance. They were an attendee. I don't think they were a sponsor, but they were an attendee. And it didn't make sense to put it on TripShock, but they were trying to sell us as offering it. I'm like, well, we're selling $100 tours. It just really doesn't make sense to do it. And I got into the hotel room with my two business partners, and we're sitting there and we're like, well, our cancellation rate's pretty small. I mean, these people are going to go on their trip. Why don't we just charge them an extra 10%? And, we'll call it, they can just change their cancellation policy at the last minute and see if that sticks. And we tried it 1 year and we did really, really well. It was the breakage just outweighed the claims cost. And then Kevin and I, a couple years later, I was trying to sell it to Kevin, and Kevin was a little hesitant on it, but he did it. It went really well for him. And then we did the podcast in 2020, and I just started seeing everybody adopting this. I probably had more questions about that show, about trip protection, than any other show we had. So then
I wasn't hesitant on trip protection ever.
Was it damage protection then?
Neither.
One of them.
No, I asked you about damage protection. I said, I've always had a thought, like, why aren't we doing this? And then you're like, no, it works great. No, I was never bearish on any type of insurance, dude, ever. Go back to the history log.
We got the archives, bro.
We'll have to check the archives on that. But if it wasn't you, it was everybody else was hesitant.
No, I mean, Arival, man, is like, and I mean, like, look, when I think anytime you partner with somebody on anything, you like butt heads, right? You know what I mean? Like Bruce is like an old school, sales guy. I like to, picture myself a little bit old school sales guy too. And we like go round and round, you know what I mean? And it's great. But dude, at the end of the day, man, I mean, our event, our podcast, I mean, Take My Boat Test I have the same, like I have like receipts, man. You know what I mean? Like I have a full spun up business from that event because, I got linked in with my current business partner, Steve Edwards from AMP Agency on that business. I mean, like all the benefits of like just a network in general, man. I mean, it doesn't have to be Arival if you don't, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I mean, yeah, there is an opportunity cost there a little bit for sure. There's some capital investment, whatever. It's not much, you know what I mean? It's like realistically $1,000 or $1,500, like depending on what level of operator you are. Ticket. I know you guys have. Do you guys do like any kind of a firm or anything like that, or?
We don't. No, we don't offer that.
Well, I'm sorry. What's the lowest tier of price?
Well, I mean, our prices go up as we get closer into the event, but we also have like for a really small operator, which is 250,000 or less annual revenue, we have a 40% discount option now.
And don't lie. Don't lie. I tried. I was like, I only make 200. I see
you have to send us their tax returns or something to prove it, because that's a big. But let's not go into that. Like, what else? Like, let's get outside.
Well, no, like I have my angle. I do the weave, man. I do the. I do the weave, man. So like at the end of the day, it's like it is important, right? Because like as far as like investments go, like for me, I don't know, it was like one of the best investments I ever made. Greg told me to come, and now we have this podcast. Now I have this event. Like, it's obviously like, well, you have to do the work, you have to execute on it. But I think for $1,000, I mean, Bruce, you've introduced us to sponsors, you've introduced us to partners. Like, I see you at the event working your ass off, trying to bring people together, because it is hard to meet other people. It's like little kids in a sandbox or something like that. And I really see you moving throughout the event of trying to connect people that you think are going to extract value from each other. So I think for $1,000, I mean, I don't know, take my boat test will do over $1 million this year. I mean, that's a pretty great return on investment. We're going to sell out at this event this year. We're already sold out of sponsors already. And it's obviously up to the operator that attends what he's going to do with that information, how deeply he's going to get involved with Arival. But I can tell you from like dealing with you guys over the years, man, it's been an awesome return, man. And we appreciate
but you're really nailing into a key, which is it's up to you, right? You guys saw something and you took advantage of it. And now before an event, you got to prepare. Who's coming? Prepare for it. Who do I really want to meet? I do the welcome orientation at every event. And I always say that, like, look at who's here, decide who are the top 10 people you want to meet. You got to prepare. And then afterwards, you got to follow up. So many people go to conferences and don't follow up. It's just conference 101, whether it's the port or Arival or whatever event it is, it doesn't matter. And people like you guys take advantage. So anyone that comes, they can't just come to the event and hope it works, right? They got to work it for sure.
And I think like, so that's a lot of ancillary, right? But I mean, to me, it's measurable. And I mean, like, if you want to say 6 degrees of separation, I mean, you can call it whatever you want. At the end of the day, even if whatever the ticket is, like, I feel like the sessions that I went to in the very early years when I really was learning and trying to figure out some of this stuff, and in full like disclosure, there's probably a handful of sessions the last couple of years I probably should have sat in, but business brain, I'm just kind of like, oh my God, dude, it's so many conferences, right? And we all know that from doing the work, the B2B side of things. But at the end of the day, you can sit in one session and get a 10x return on your investment on a ticket, right? Like, because it's an idea and it's a I don't want to say spark, but it is, right? Like, I don't want, and then igniting, we want to spark an idea. Well, but like, I mean, like, I extract value from every conference realistically that I go to, right? Oh, like, I don't return. And I mean, I've been to Arival as an attendee, as a, as a content creator. I mean, I've been involved with Arival since, my first arrival. So I feel like if you can't walk in there and not extract at least 10 grand of value out of the sessions that you guys offer, in addition to like getting connected with people, getting new ideas, and really just giving credit to like, hey man, if I was just sitting in my underwear watching the, newest episode of Wednesday or whatever, then, and not learning and networking, then like none of this shit would have happened. Right. So
that was actually a really weird comment.
Oh yeah, I was trying to pull an episode of, I don't know why Wednesday came to my Netflix. And fuck you, Greg. Man. God, you got me, dude.
Dude, that was.
You got me.
Yeah.
All
right. Well,
you guys gonna edit? Are you gonna edit that out?
No, we're gonna keep.
No, that's fun, dude.
Yeah,
that's fun, man.
All right.
Yeah. Douglas just texted me. Don't let Bruce sales pitch Arival. I'm like, don't worry.
You guys won't stop.
I'm not going to, dude. I mean, I'm going hard jugular, dude. Like, at the end of the day, it's just like, I mean, we just did this 2 episodes ago, right? It's like we did a breakdown on buying and selling businesses, and like, look, man, either you're a worker or you're an investor, man. And at the end of the day, I think it's a very small fraction of investment, at any level. You know what I mean? If you're doing over $1 million in revenue, it's like, you know what I mean? I think it's a pittance. And I think the information this year right now is the most important. Like, we are definitely at a juncture in technology, a massive one, and a juncture in travel. And I think there's only one place you need to be, man. And it's not a hard sell. It's just my honest feelings about the whole thing. as an operator, times are a changing, man, and you better be in the room. Like,
so we know it's been a tough year in Florida, a tough season, which a lot of your listeners are in Florida. Obviously, a lot of your whole community is. Like, what would be most beneficial, do you think, for the people listening to come to an event, whether it's the port or Arival or otherwise? What do you think operators need at this point?
I think they need the research. I think they need to understand the trends so they can make really good decisions in 2026.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think it's oh God, even though I shudder to say it, it's the AI tools, because I think you have a lot of operators that don't understand that, like, this is a platform shift. I've been saying this for the last 2 years. That you're not attacking, like Bruce, you said it earlier, you're not attacking this with SEO. Like, if you're going into ChatGPT being like, Destiny Water Adventures is a 5-star review company located in Fort Walton Beach and blah 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 blah, like, that's not how this shit works, dude. You're not like like cheating ChatGPT with like keyword stuffing, right? This is like an entirely different animal. There is no optimization moves at this point, right? Like, you're like, it's learning us more than we're learning it, and at an accelerated rate of speed. So I think to your point, that you have to get really familiar with these tools right now and start implementing in your business. And I personally am like, have a question mark above my head, and I'm supposed to be a thought leader. So if I'm telling you that I'm confused as hell about this, like, you know, everybody is.
So you need to be there on Tuesday just to start to understand what's being done in AI specifically, because you can optimize for AI to get into the LLMs. LLM meaning like ChatGPT, Gemini,
large language models.
Yeah. Those are basically the search engines now, right?
Yeah.
Even in Google, you go to Google and you get Gemini. So you got to understand how to optimize for that. I don't know how much we're going to get into that. We have a couple sessions. Brennan Bliss, who I'm sure you both know from Propellic, has been studying that and talks about that a lot. We have him doing a few sessions on that. But that's a transition that everyone has to know for sure.
He blew our audience's minds last year. Like, what did the guy say at his presentation, Greg? What did he raise his hands
and he's like, "What is SEO again?" And we're like, "Oh, okay, yeah."
and then another comment was like, "Yo, man, I got to get on this internet shit."
Yeah, that's what he said. And he's like, and then Brennan's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I just can't," he's just trying to be really humble. And then he turns at like us, and he's like, "Damn, I need to get on that internet shit." And we started cracking up. It was so funny.
Did he know what an OTA was?
No.
And I mean, in full transparency, man, Bruce, like, and I mentioned that part of like how hard you work at putting people together, because I know how important it is. So it's like, I felt bad as an event promoter that Brennan, like, you know what I mean? That I wasn't like, hey man, like, our guys are idiots, dude, a little bit. So, don't
come
get
down a little bit.
Yeah. Don't get too high level. They're like, you know what I mean? They're like, yo, man, what's up with that pizza? That's a pie chart, dude.
Yeah,
that's not a blueberry pizza.
That same guy might own 5 or 10 or whatever beautiful boats and makes $10 million a year. And
there's a bunch of lucky idiots. I talk about us all the time. I'm like, man, I'm like, we're basically an industry of like the Beverly Hills.
Kevin's blocked. Okay, now Greg, you have a chance to talk. When I listen to your podcast, it's amazing how much you let Kevin dominate. But he's locked up now, so go ahead.
Good. I'm gonna. Yeah, and it's funny because he's locked up, and there's his face, and he's making a weird face. Yeah, you see it? Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, I see his face. You're gonna have to somehow take a screenshot of this or something.
Yeah. So when it comes to what you guys are saying about like our audience, yes, they have this. Did he leave? Tristan, if you're listening to this, make sure to cut this and make it flow better. sometimes it throws off the editing when they cut out. Let me text him real quick.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, poor Brennan did this phenomenal speech, and it was like 10 feet over everybody's head. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was good.
Yeah.
Good
I mean, that's a really hard part, is getting the content to match the audience, for sure.
What happened? What if his computer died? Here, I can pause. Actually.